How's it going, guys? Welcome in here to Rover Sports. Wanted to talk about the New York Giants today on the show, and wanted to do that in an elongated capacity. I wanted to talk about the Giants. They're my team. They're the one team that, I pretty much have had for the longest time. They're the team I'm the most passionate about in all sports, in all of professional sports. And they're my team. So I think it's appropriate that I wanted to talk about the New York Giants. And this is a team with the Giants. This is sorry, I'm going to put the microphone up a little bit more. There, that's even better. So the New York Giants are a team that today they decided Eli Manning is done, and the Giants have been embarrassing. Not only have they been bad now for like a good 5 years, 6, 7 years, they've been bad for the majority of this decade. Other than the Super Bowl wins 2008 and then 2011, the Giants haven't been that consistent kind of franchise. Now, maybe Daniel Jones can even be a Hall of Famer and be better than Eli Manning in capacities, kind of like a Peyton Manning, but that's wishful thinking. At this stage, Daniel Jones gives the Giants a better chance to win, and we're going to then see Pat Shurmur's offense installed with Daniel Jones, the mobile quarterback. Now, what I'm going to say about Daniel Jones is he is mobile. And Eli Manning wasn't mobile, so Manning would just get sacked all the time. And Daniel Jones is going to be able to extend plays with his legs. He's going to be able to step up in the pocket. And Eli Manning was just too old this year to play quarterback. I don't think he's getting faster. And his time with the Giants is over. And it's emotional. It's a 16-year period. I grew up with Eli Manning. And in 2004, I was 10 years old. So Eli Manning, now I'm like 25 years old. So Eli Manning has been here 16 years in the NFL, 16-year season. And he's pretty much the last quarterback from my childhood, or the last athlete from my childhood, maybe outside of Larry Fitzgerald, that's still playing this game and still playing it was still playing this game. And he was really the franchise guy. And every year you didn't need to worry because Eli Manning was your franchise quarterback, and you're going into the season with an opportunity to make the playoffs, go to a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, or you had those expectations with Eli Manning as your quarterback. In 2008, he had the best team that year. And if Plexico didn't injure himself, if they played better against the Eagles, they might have even won another Super Bowl. They were that good that year. They were the best team in the whole year. They were the best team. In 2011, all the playoff memories of Eli Manning, we've gone over this a lot on this show. It's been special. But it's time for Daniel now, and all good things come to an end in life, and that's life. That's life. That's how it happens. But looking at this team right now, I believe that Dave Gettleman is doing a really good job. And now a lot of people want to say, well, there's no talent on this defense. Well, I saw DeAndre Baker, and he played at Georgia, and he was a dominant shutdown corner that would play press coverage. I think that James Bettcher and Dave Gettleman, they don't have a relationship at all, because Dave Gettleman is selecting players that James Bettcher doesn't even know how to use. There's no shared vision. There's no communication. Dave Gettleman says, I buy the groceries. So pretty much Dave Gettleman in this instance, I think he's buying good groceries in this analogy. It's like, I'm going to buy like some of the best salmon. I'm going to buy some of the best swordfish at the food market. And then the person that he's getting the food for doesn't like eating fish at all. That's like what the DeAndre Baker pick is to James Bettcher. It's like Baker is a really good player, but Betcher just has no idea how to use Baker and unlock his potential. And we will see over time, because a lot of these players like DeAndre Baker, maybe Lorenzo Carter, if they continue to not do great things in the NFL on the Giants, some other team will pick them up cheap and make them into superstar players. That could very well happen. Very well could happen. I think Dave Gettleman is doing a really nice job. I think getting rid of Odell Beckham, this year he already had the watch controversy. Didn't play at all in the preseason, was missing training camp. Freddie Kitchens already had so much stress in the months of August about Odell Beckham. And now Jarvis Landry's not getting catches. Baker Mayfield has actually looked worse with Odell Beckham than he did last year. Baker Mayfield looked better last year through 2 games than he has this year with Odell Beckham at talent. Because even though you have talent, it's all about how pieces fit in together in this league. So a lot of people are like, well, James Betcher, this defense is a rebuilding shitty team. Okay, I understand that it's a rebuilding team. It doesn't mean that we can't see improvement or we can't win a game here or there, because the Giants aren't even close to winning freaking football games. And that comes down to coaching, and that comes down to Shurmur and Betcher. Shurmur's done nothing in the NFL. He had 1 year with the Vikings where they had the easiest schedule in the league, and Case Keenum didn't turn the ball over. Congratulations. You had an amazing defense, and the offense barely did anything worthwhile versus a very easy schedule. Shurmur's done nothing in this NFL. He doesn't inspire confidence. And, I mean, if you're expecting Shurmur to somehow turn into a good head coach, he was awful with the Cleveland Browns. If you're expecting Shurmur to somehow turn into a good head coach, you really have no basis to make that argument. You could make that argument, but it's more you hoping than what we've seen, because factually we haven't seen any winning out of Pat Shurmur. So maybe Daniel Jones will be the guy for Shurmur. Maybe Jones will save Shurmur's job, or Shurmur will help Jones out. Eli Manning will be a good mentor for Daniel Jones, and I'm excited about Daniel Jones. We'll see if Shurmur can win games this year, because this is a very easy schedule. Buccaneers, Redskins, Vikings at home, Lions, Arizona Cardinals, Dolphins. There's a lot of wins on the schedule. Even going to Chicago is not impossible with how bad Mitch Trubisky is playing at quarterback. So this NFC, I look at the Giants, and I just want to see the Giants actually improve each week. You know, the New York Giants, their defense, just because you're rebuilding doesn't mean that you are going to get laughed off the field every single game, and that's going to be appropriate. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't even go into a game and put up a fight. If you're rebuilding, you're supposed to develop your young core and make them into good NFL players so you can get excited going forward, so that you see tangible improvement. The analogy I would say is like you're a crappy golfer. You're terrible at the game of golf, and then your teacher is telling you to do all the wrong things so you consistently stay terrible and you don't see any improvement. Rebuilding is for improvement. When it's rebuilding mode, there's a thing. The word rebuild means to actually build. That's what rebuilding means. This is professional sports. It's not like the Giants don't have the talent. This is the NFL. So there are winnable games. It's not like you have the murderer's row. It's not like you're the Jets and you play the toughest schedule. So rebuilding means that you should be building. It means that you should be improving. And this defense has just been, I mean, being a Giants fan this year, you know, a lot of people are like, being a Giants fan is really hard and whatever this year. It's hard when the team is not competing at all. And there needs to be punishment for not competing. So I'm really glad that they made the change to Daniel Jones. And defensively, I think James Betcher should be released in the middle of the year if the defense continues to suck, because it's unacceptable. And as Giants fans who've put up through a lot of crap, you need to be very impatient about your football team going forward, even more impatient than we've been. Because if we stay patient and we stay apathetic and we let Mara continue to kind of drag this thing down, you're going to continue to see a terrible product. So you need to be as vocal as you can, getting on here, social media and whatever, and expecting better defense. I look at Daniel Jones, this offensive line, Saquon Barkley. Saquon needs to touch the ball 30 times a game going forward. You need to run him into the ground. He needs to be the workhorse because with Saquon Barkley, if you give him the ball 30 times, at least 2 of those 30 runs are going to go over 30 yards. That's how good Saquon is. You have such a weapon, you need to utilize your strengths. And by running the football, it keeps the clock going and it keeps your defense off of the field and it helps out Daniel Jones. So now's the time with Saquon Barkley. If you listen to my podcast earlier, my co-host Dave said something very intelligent. He said that Saquon Barkley is soon going to probably hold out because running backs, their prime years are years 4 to years 8, and they should get big contracts throughout those years. So Saquon's pretty much in the prime of his career as a running back, and you got to give the ball to Saquon at will. I'm tired of hearing, Saquon Barkley and his years as a Giant have been used. And guess what? If Shurmur's not the guy, you need to be very, very proactive and not reactive. You need to be proactive and think ahead. And if I were running the Giants, I would see how Shurmur does with Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones is going to add a spark. I think the defensive line, at least Golden, made some plays and held on to Josh Allen and allowed the defense to get sacks. At least the pass rush in the third quarter was better. Okay, at least you had Marcus Golden and Lorenzo Carter making a couple of plays for you. So maybe that defense can kind of go off what the third quarter was like. And against Jameis Winston playing at Tampa Bay, hopefully you hold them to under 24 points or under 28 points. But if this defense continues to get gashed, there's no reason why James Bettcher should be left to teach these young kids, because you need to get a coordinator that actually plays to his players' strengths. And DeAndre Baker is lost right now. There's no communication between James Bettcher and DeAndre Baker. They are not seeing eye to eye. Janoris Jenkins is pissed off. The linebackers and everybody is out of position. They're undisciplined and they're bad. In man-to-man coverage, if Michael Gallup and Dak Prescott connect on a pass against DeAndre Baker when he's playing press coverage, that's fine, because that's strictly a talent thing in man-to-man. But when you have Blake Jarwin, of all people, running wide open 30 yards down the field, there's confusion. You're thinking and not playing, and you're thinking about the wrong crap. And James Bettcher is corroding this defense by teaching them wrong, horrible information. The coaches need to teach. When you're building young players, you need to improve them. You need to take, that's what coaching is. It's helping players achieve their potential. I think Dave Gettleman, by getting rid of Odell Beckham, by not paying for Landon Collins, he's given this team flexibility. I think you're going to see Daniel Jones perform very well. I don't give a crap if he's a game manager, if he can't throw it as far as Dwayne Haskins. He's a mobile quarterback. He's not going to make mistakes. Unlike Eli Manning, he's not going to take terrible sacks. This offense is going to move a little bit. This is going to be a really good offense. I expect Jones to come in here and play well. And he needs to play well because we need to see if Shurmur's his guy. Guess what? You beat Tampa Bay, you get to 1-2, and you come home and you play Case Keenum or Dwayne Haskins, and you beat the Redskins, and you go to 2-2, and you reset your season, and then you have a game against Minnesota at home where you have a fighter's chance. Then you go to the Patriots. If you beat Minnesota, you're 3-2 going into that Patriots game. You lose to the Patriots 3-3. You have 11 days to prepare for Cliff Kingsbury and Vance Joseph and Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. You could be 4-3, and you can kind of be a respectable. But it all depends if you beat Tampa Bay, because if you go to 0-3, then it's going to be tough, because then your defense probably sucks again, because you shouldn't let Jameis Winston beat you. Good teams go on the road and win games like this when your back is against the wall. And we're going to learn a lot about Pat Shurmur. 0-3 is not acceptable in New York. And guess what? 1-3 isn't great. 2-3 isn't great. If you lose this game, you lose to the Patriots, you're 2-4. You still have the Dallas Cowboys left on the schedule. You have the freaking Cowboys. You have the Eagles twice. You have the Bears and the Packers. This is about as easy as a schedule as you're going to get. You have the Dolphins. You have the freaking Jets coming up. You just got to beat Tampa Bay. It's like this is a must-win game for the New York Giants. I trust in Daniel Jones to go down there and get a win. I don't know if I trust this defense to do it. I think Daniel Jones is athletic. He's 6'5". I think he's better in the NFL than he was at Duke because of the talent of the wide receivers. You know, some quarterbacks get boosted by good wide receivers. So the New York Giants, it's been so frustrating being a fan because the Giants have, I think, NFL football players. They're just getting coached by a bunch of clowns. And the fact that the Giants games are not competitive, you said the season would be over in September? Well, their football games are over before it hits 2:30. You can't even go an hour and a half. You're like Rick Pitino at that bar. You're just busting so early in a game. And that's what's happening. The Giants are busting early, and you can't even wait until you can't even wait and watch a 3-hour. You can't even wait to get to the second hour. You know, each week you get ready for this 3-hour movie, and the movie's so bad that you're walking out of the theater. I mean, just because a team is bad and rebuilding, it doesn't mean you have to get laughed out of a game. You at least want to see the Giants get to a fourth quarter with an opportunity to not be down by 2 touchdowns. I'm not asking a lot when you go to Tampa Bay. I'm asking the Giants to win. I'm asking the Giants to compete. And I'm asking the Giants throughout this season to give us some fourth quarters that are worthwhile. I'm asking this defense to be in the right spot. Now, if they get beat, they get beat. But they better know what the heck they're doing. You better have a concise plan. And if their Jimmies beat your Joes, that happens. But to get laughed off the field, to look like a franchise that is literally going to get relegated from the NFL, it looks like the Giants are like one of those FCS programs, like a Southeastern Louisiana, playing against a Georgia and just getting annihilated. That's not where the Giants should be, ever. That's not where a program should be, ever. And that's why you then need to fire coaches if they suck. The way I look at it, Kellen Moore and Chris Richard, I think they're rock stars. I would take the risk on one of them. It's pretty damn simple. You get in Kellen Moore or you get Richard. Whoever the Cowboys don't choose, you get. And if it comes down to both of them, I'll take Kellen Moore. I think he's an offensive genius. If not, you're going to have a great defense under Chris Richard, and he's going to teach these young guys, and he's going to build energy and build some passion into this freaking team, okay? You look at a Lincoln Riley, okay? You look at a Shane Waldron. Sean Gleason is New Jersey. He's Ridgewood, New Jersey. He went to Princeton. He was the Princeton offensive coordinator. He's one of the bright minds in football. He's 35 years old. You take a risk to be great, okay? Oftentimes, people that have been great, they've taken risks, calculated risks a lot of times. They don't just sit back and try to be average, and that's what Pat Shurmur is. The New York Giants just got off a terrible relationship where the girl went in, beat up the boyfriend, and stole all the jewelry from you, or from you if you're the boyfriend in this case. So then you look for a girl. She's not beautiful. She's not the best personality, but you're just looking to get back in the dating world. So you don't take anybody great, and that's what Shurmur is. He's not great. He's a carryover. And now the carryover is over. And now it's time to try to be great again. Don't ever try to be average. That's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of a mantra. I think it's a pretty obvious mantra. But being average sucks. I don't think it's good. I don't think average is awesome. So I'd almost rather be embarrassing than average. So it's time to try to be great. And I don't think Shurmur, when you look up Shurmur in the definition, or when you look up great, I don't think you're going to see Pat Shurmur's name. I don't think you're going to see James Betcher or Pat Shurmur's faces next to those definitions. So we have a lot to do. And New York Giants fans, this is my one team, you know. And as you get older, I think you pick about 1 or 2 teams to latch onto. This is the team that I care about. I was distraught watching that Bills game. It ruined my day because I watched the Eagles play the Falcons. And even the Eagles lose a heartbreaking game. And I said to my dad, who's an Eagles fan, at least you have a team that plays games where you have an opportunity to win. an opportunity to win games late. And as a Giants fan, we've been deprived of even being close to having an opportunity to win football games. I appreciate you guys listening to this video. I want to thank Eli for everything. I can't wait to go to Canton and see him there. I hope he plays in the NFL, and I hope that he lands somewhere else. I really do. I like watching Eli play football. He's a wonderful guy. I think he's represented New York as well as any athlete ever. And, again, our fan base, people said that the Giants fan base freaked out about Geno Smith. That's wrong. The Giants fan base was freaking out because Ben McAdoo was absolutely awful. And you know what? Eli did have some good games last year. He's just not mobile anymore. That's his problem. He has the arm strength, but he can't get out of a pocket. And that's the problem with Eli Manning. He's too old in that respect, or he's too slow. I'm sorry. He's not too old because Tom Brady's older than him. He's too slow. He can't get out of a pocket. He doesn't like getting hit. Can't really take a hit anymore. And just a fragile. He needs to get better athletically if he's going to play for another franchise. He needs to work on his cardio if he's going to play for another franchise. But Eli will teach Daniel Jones unless an amazing trade comes along, which I don't know if I see happening. And that's where we stand kind of with the New York Giants is just because you're rebuilding doesn't mean you completely have to suck and practice bad habits, because then you're actually damaging yourself actually further more than you've ever have before. Alrighty, guys, thanks for watching this video. I'll try to post this tonight. Take care. Have a really nice